Hey, it's Kevin. Thank you so much for coming by for the No BS social media chat. We've talked in the past about everybody seeking shortcuts, everybody looking to, well, do social media or do whatever in life the easiest, quickest, fastest way they can. When we're driving around town, we want to find the most direct route. We want to find the quickest route, whether it's even the longest in distance. What's the fastest in time? We're all looking for shortcuts in everything we do. And in fact, you go back, I believe the episode a while back, a couple years ago now, was called Shortcuts. But we're talking more importantly about, well, who you think you're fooling with all of this. Because, well, yes, there are some shortcuts that can be had. There are some shortcuts that can be made. I kind of touched on this last week by letting your social media be handled completely, totally, hands off of you by somebody else. Well, it may make your life easier, but you're not going to get the full results because you're not fooling the fans. I think I've talked about this years ago, back when we first made the transition from radio into social media. I was working with an independent recording artist. And I was involved, again, and this shows you how far back it goes. It was just MySpace at the time. This was pre-Facebook. We were doing a little bit of YouTube video, but at the time it was really focusing on MySpace. That's where all the traffic was. And she didn't want to deal with it. So she said, do me a favor, and you answer all my messages on MySpace. Well, I wasn't really comfortable with that because I said, I've seen this before. This doesn't really work. If somebody said they met you at such and such time, I'd rather reach out to you and say, oh yeah, that'd be great. Well, this artist just wanted generic answers because they really didn't want to connect with the fans. And that's where I helped come up with the idea about how you should direct with social media after seeing some of the experiences I engaged in, encountered in over the early years of social media. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not comfortable about it. Well, the person who was handling their website, their webmaster, was like, well, I'll do it because they wanted to be in control. They, in fact, didn't even want me in part of the project, which was fine. So I let them answer the MySpace messages at the time. Well, lo and behold, I think we'd been doing this for about 2 weeks, and it was just a very basic answer to a question. Somebody reached out in a MySpace message and asked a question, and the webmaster replied with just a pretty generic answer, and the flaming message that came back, this isn't Laura. Who is this? Laura wouldn't answer this way. And I just kind of chuckled, and then we had to bring it to Laura's attention. So Laura said, oh, okay, I realize I've got to get involved. Well, I understand, again, the need to be hands-off. It's like being a manager. There are a lot of managers who are hands-off. I never found that worked. You have to at least know what's going on. You have to at least be able to understand the problems, the pitfalls that everybody are encountering. So Laura got involved to a point. What we really found was there was stuff are you coming to Poughkeepsie on this date? We'd be able to say, right now we don't have anything scheduled for Poughkeepsie. We hope to be near Albany real soon, but it was kind of a generic answer. Anything like that, anything you could get away with. Anytime they'd met a person, anytime anybody had seen a person, you almost had to look at the history of the person who you were messaging with, who you're interacting with, to see how to be able to reply to them, how to answer them. So we finally got the artist involved a little bit. Again, there'd be some times where, I'd reach out to them and say, hey, here, you need to answer this. Another artist, when I first made the transition from radio to social media, they weren't even computer literate at the time, and the record label said, you just handle the social media. And I said, okay. But I had the phone number of the artist, and there were a lot of messages from them. I met you backstage in Seattle. I did this. Do you remember this? So I just shoot them a quick, text message at the time. Hey, do you remember this? Give me a quick little one-line answer. And I learned how to be able to answer on their behalf. So I've kind of built this over the course of time. All to say right now, don't for a minute think that your fans, your followers, and your friends aren't smart. That they're not just as savvy, if not more savvy about all this than you are. Don't think you're pulling the wool over on somebody's eyes, because you won't be. And I think we spend too much time, again, focusing on how to shortcut everything, than worry about the true, genuine interaction. It's almost what I've made my mission this year with social media. I see so many people gaming the system. I see so many people saying, oh, if we just buy placement, if we buy ads, that'll make it all better. And you know what? Perhaps it'll make it somewhat better, but at the end of the day, I know the best part about social media, the reason I gave up a 20-plus year, not lucrative career, but a good, solid career, successful career in radio, was because I saw the potential. I saw the power, both good and bad, for what social media could do. And I still think it can do that if people are willing to put in the time and the effort. So again, don't kid yourself. Don't think anytime you're finding a shortcut and we sometimes tell ourselves we're doing something, so, oh man, nobody's going to even notice. Yeah, they're going to notice. And you may not notice the results. You may not notice the downtick a little bit early, but it may take time. And over the course of time, you go, man, I'm just not getting the input I used to get. I see that with some of my Instagrams. I'm not focusing as much time and effort on them lately. I've been pretty busy. And so I've noticed that when I do, the engagement isn't there. I'm not getting as many comments. I'm not getting as many likes. Now, that's part and parcel because of the way the system is right now, but it's partly because of me too. Think about it. You're not fooling anyone Back next week, another No BS social media chat. NoBSSocial.com is our website. Again, we throw them up on YouTube, throw them up on Facebook. Wherever you found us this week, come on back next week. And if you want to reach out one-on-one, phone number, email address, all coming up here at the end of the video so you can write it down. Thanks. Have a great one.